Hello and welcome to my channel, and today I have started a new series. I don't know whether you can call it a podcast yet or not, but I'll just go with the name series called the Owl's Eye, which is a very interesting series. I hope you find it very interesting too. It's very interesting for me. So today I'm gonna be doing a video called "Why the Human Mind is Afraid of the Darkness." Why does it fear the darkness? Why do we fear the darkness? If my light just goes off right now, I would be screaming. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have said that, but yes, I I wouldn't be screaming. I would just call my mom. Okay, I should stop talking about this, but yeah, you get the point. Yeah, so today I have gathered some facts about ancient philosophies and about the psychological facts in today's studies done by uh, regarding this topic, and we are going to discuss about it. I hope the intro is not taking too long. So welcome to my channel, and for the series, let's take a look at these facts and let's see where will we end up. Like I said in the beginning, I have gathered 5 psychological facts why we fear the darkness, the human mind. And I'm going to go through every 5 of them, which I have them in a word. It's my script. I'm going to read them out loud for you to know. So I'm going to go through the first one, and we are going to go through every 5 of them. And there's another 5, and there's my personal thought about this. I want you to wait till the end of the video. Just wait. Just trust me. You will like it. You'll be smarter on other people. Yeah, I hope you will. Okay, so I'm going to go through the first fact. Why? Evolutionary survival mechanism. In the ancient times, humans were vulnerable to predators as they were more active at night. Early humans needed to be cautious in the dark as they could not see threats such as dangerous animals or other dangers lurking in the shadows. Over time, this fear of the unknown in the darkness became hardwired into the human brain as a survival instinct. Basically saying, because like us in the past was having this all these survival mechanism about these things about in the dark, it was hardwired in the human brain, so that means it's in our DNA. So basically when the lights goes off, we are fucking scared for no reason. Sometimes that's because it's in the DNA to get scared. Fear of the unknown. Darkness limits our ability to see, making us uncertain about our surroundings. When we can't visually perceive what's around us, our minds can fill in the blanks with imagined threats. This uncertainty can lead into anxiety as we become hyper aware of what might be there, even if there's nothing. Yeah, I might stutter a lot while saying these things. I have to do like tons of retakes. Sometimes you have no idea when I'm like how much I stutter. Yeah. So about the second topic, it is very interesting. It's saying that if there is darkness just lurking there, and since we don't know what's really in there, it's like spooking us. So that's why we are scared. That's like one fact out of many. Let's take a look at them. Cultural and learned fears. Many cultures have stories of folklore about dangerous things happening at night, such as ghosts, monsters, or other supernatural entities. These narratives often fuel our fear of the dark, reinforcing the belief that darkness hides something harmful. This can start from childhood with stories or even media that portray darkness as a place of danger. As a Sri Lankan, I can totally agree with this fact because I'm pretty sure if you're watching in somewhere in Asia, like India, Japan, China, maybe Pakistan and Bangladesh, I don't know about those places, but especially in Sri Lanka, if you grow up since like a child from here, like your whole childhood is based in Sri Lanka, you're gonna hear a lot of stories about people like Giriaka, Mahazona, these ancient folklore, myths, stories, ghost stories. Like you're gonna hear a lot of them, and some of them might even say that they have actually seen these entities, and that's even like most spooky. And they might be lying half of the time. You never know. Lack of sensory input. The human brain relies heavily on vision to interpret the world. In the darkness, the absence of sensory input, especially sight, can make people feel disoriented or vulnerable. Without clear information from our environment, our minds may become more susceptible to irrational fears. So, what's saying from this point is the lack of sensory input. So, when you have, your eyes, when the light, goes off, it's all dark. You can't really see what's in front of you. So that scares our mind. The whole point of this topic is why does that happen, but this makes a lot of sense too, because it's saying that since we don't know what's in our environment, that scares us too. That's this point is saying. So imagine there is a fucking tiger in front of me and the light goes off. I don't know where the tiger could be. I mean, imagine that when the light goes off, I hear a roar. Then I don't know where the tiger. Okay, you get the point, right? Like, it's basically saying you don't know what's in front of you when the light goes off, so that fears our mind. My examples are so bad sometimes. Trust me, they get good, but right now they're bad. Psychological factors. Fear of the dark can also be tied to deeper psychological issues such as anxiety, stress, or trauma. For some people, the dark may invoke memories of the past experiences that were frightening or stressful, making them more prone to feeling unease in low light condition. So I know you understood that, yeah, because it's basically, imagine when I was a child, my mom put me in a room and closed the lights. I mean, it never happened, but I'm just saying that happened, and it was like I'm screaming. I can't see anything. I'm scared. My mom's not there. I don't know what she's doing. I'm screaming and screaming. And when I grow up, I can't. I have this fear to enter a room and close the lights off at the same time because of that thing that happened to me when I was a child. That never did really happen. I'm just saying this again. That never really happened, but I'm just making an example. Like I said, my examples are bad. So yeah. So if that happened when I was a child and when I grow up, that becomes a trauma memory. So whenever the lights goes off and I'm in a room, I get scared, making me feel the same feelings that when I was a child. So that's what basically saying from this point, and it makes sense. But not everyone have those, and it makes sense, but for only for a little amount of people. Many ancient philosophers and thinkers reflected on the fear of the dark, often linking it to broader themes like ignorance, the unknown, and human nature. And here's some perspectives on ancient philosophers. Plato, Allegory of the Cave. In Plato's famous book Allegory of the Cave, darkness symbolizes ignorance, while light represents knowledge and truth. He describes prisoners in a cave, shackled and only be able to see shadows on the wall, believing the shadows are the reality. For Plato, fear of the darkness is metaphorical, representing the fear of stepping into the unknown and confronting truths that challenge our belief. He implies that darkness is not what we should fear but remaining in ignorance. So what Plato was describing is it's very deep. Like what he is saying that darkness is something that we are afraid of, not physically but in here. So he's saying like how I told you in his famous book Allegory of the Cave, he describes prisoners in a cave shackled and only be able to see shadows on the wall. So that means that they are shackled, right? They can't do anything, okay? And they are in a cave and they can see their shadows in the wall, and that's who they think that's our reality. Those shadows are our reality. So that's what he's saying. That's the darkness, and the truth is outside the cave. Like that's knowledge and the truth. So in order to get out of the cave, you have to go out. But they think, since they can only see the shadows, they think that that's our reality. So that's what Plato is saying. Plato is not saying this in a very I'm not saying Plato is dumb. I'm dumb, but in my perspective, Plato is saying it in a deeper emotional level rather than in a psychological level. Get it? So there's no really physical evidence for what Plato is saying, but it's really nice how Plato is describing the darkness, which in fact, in another way, it is kind of truth when you really think about it. Come on, think about it, because like how I said earlier, I told you about the stuff that our parents are saying, like from the beginning, about the stuff about the darkness, ghosts, monsters, and stuff like that. That's like our truth. Get it? That's like, okay, so if the light goes out, it's there. But the truth is in the light. Get it? Like there are no monsters. Just because the light goes out, it doesn't mean there are stuff there. So that's knowledge and the truth. And the darkness is those stuff. Get it? So what Plato is saying, but Plato is implying over here, is really knowledgeable, and I kind of get it. And it's really smart. I mean, he has to be smart. Aristotle, on sleep and dreams. Aristotle discussed the mind's susceptibility to fear and imagination, especially during sleep when the environment is dark and quiet. He noted that in the absence of visual stimuli, the mind can create phantoms or illusions. This ties into the idea that darkness is associated with the absence of perception, allowing irrational fears to surface. Didn't we talk about something just like this in the other top 5? I think we did. I can't remember which one it is, but we did talk about something like that. It was, I think, the lack of sensory input, right? Yeah. So we did talk about that, and it's really like mind blowing to think about someone in the ancient times has figured this out. I mean, yeah. So Aristotle over here says the same thing what I told you back in the top 5, which is saying that whenever the light goes out, since we don't know what's there, we get scared. It could be, like I said, a man that we don't know, a fucking tiger, or it could be no. So when the light's not there, our imagination goes wild. So yeah. Seneca, Letters to Lucius. The Stoic philosopher Seneca advised overcoming irrational fears such as fear of the dark. He believed the fear stems from our judgments, not from darkness itself. Seneca urged people to confront their fears through reason, suggesting that once we realize that darkness itself is harmless, we can get rid of ourselves of unnecessary anxiety. If you didn't realize, I started in the end, just ignore it. But yeah, Seneca is actually saying something that I was going to tell at the end. So these things that was put into our heads by other people and judgments, he's talking about judgments, like the darkness is judged and it's in our head. But if we remove those judgments about the darkness, we don't need to be scared of it. So that's what he's saying. So judgments about the darkness, get rid of them. If you did, you can clearly see through the darkness for what it is actually. It's just darkness is something without light, and light is something without darkness. Laozi, Tao Ching, the ancient Chinese philosopher. Laozi in the Tao Ching often spoke of darkness and light as a complementary forces in the universe. He saw darkness as not as something to be feared, but as a natural part of existence tied to mystery and the unknown. Laozi emphasized embracing the unknown and finding balance, suggesting that fear arises from resisting natural cycles and changes. So, according to Laozi, in his book Tao Ching, that's how you say it, I'm 1000% sure, in the Tao Ching book, I feel like a philosopher now, that he is saying that if you resist the natural cycles, the natural stuff in the world, when you resist something, it just turns into a little bit of fear. And that is that fear you feel in the darkness. See, we resist the darkness instead of accepting it, right? Like if the light goes out, instead of me calming down, waiting to see what will happen, I just freak out, I scream, I yell, and I try to turn on the lights back. That is what resisting is. So if I don't resist and if I calm down and if I just chill for a minute, I would understand the true nature of what darkness is, and that's really smart to say. And I hope that's what he meant too, because some of these videos, I'm just randomly guessing what they're saying. Not randomly, I just think about it a lot, but it's just my perspective. But yeah, I'll talk about it in the end. Plotinus, Aeneas, as one of the founders of Neoplatonism, Platonists viewed the physical world, including darkness, as a lower realm of reality compared to the divine light of intellect. He argued that the fear of darkness symbolized a deeper longing for connection with the higher intellectual realm of light and truth. For him, the fear of darkness was an expression of the soul's desire for enlightenment. Now Platonism is an interesting fellow. Like, I'm not. I shouldn't say fellow. I shouldn't say fellow. But yeah, Platonism is someone that I understand what he's saying. I understand his point, but I can't apply that point to what I am trying to do here. Like, why I am trying to say is why we get scared when the light goes off and when it's all dark. But what he's saying is something on a soul based thing. Like, but his explanation is something related to the soul desire for enlightenment. The fear of darkness was an expression of the soul's desire for enlightenment. Now I don't understand. I can't apply that method to this. If someone in the comment section, if you're looking at this, if I'm having trouble to apply that. I understand what he's saying, I really do, but I can't apply that method, that point, that perspective for what I'm feeling when the light's going out, for the real darkness. So if you are smarter, please comment it down so I can understand what Platonism is trying to say. Ancient Egyptian beliefs. Darkness played a significant role in Egyptian mythology, where the sun god Ra traveled through the underworld at night, battling chaos before being reborn each morning. Egyptians saw darkness as a both time of danger and transformation, where one had to confront fears in order to achieve renewal. This reflects the idea that fear of dark also could symbolize a journey towards understanding and rebirth. If I was stuttering a little bit too much, I'm sorry. Okay, I hope you understand that. I am going to put the text on the thing so you can read it yourself too. Okay, so darkness played a significant role in Egyptian mythology, where the sun god Ra traveled through the underworld at night, battling chaos before being born each morning. Okay, so the sun god Ra, I don't really know. I don't really do this god stuff. I mean, I do, but it's that when it comes to Egyptian mythology, I'm a bit clueless. But when it comes, so apparently this dude, I mean this god, he's been fighting and he's been reborn each time. I think each time, I mean, I don't really understand why would he be born, because apparently in Egyptian mythology, battling chaos before reborn Egypt. So he's battling chaos in the darkness and he's reborning the, in the morning. Okay, and this reflects the idea that fear of the dark could also symbolize a journey towards understanding and rebirth. Now, the Egyptians believed something else. Like, I could not relate to that. Like, okay, I could. Like, let's take a look at this. Okay, as both time of danger and transformation, where one had to confront fears to achieve renown. So they thought of darkness as something to confess, and they can, reborn in the morning. You know what I mean? So, okay, this is actually nice. Now, when I really think about it, the ancient Egyptians was up to something. Okay, so that's actually really nice when you think about it. Okay, so ancient Egyptians, now they thought of darkness as something to confess, and when they confess, they are being reborn in the morning. They are being born again in the morning, in a better person, a better version of themselves. So that's what they thought. They thought of darkness as a period of transformation, something to give light, so they can be light in the morning, something like that, a period of transformation. That's what they thought of darkness was. So I still can't relate that to what I am feeling. Like I think it was, I can't remember who it was, that person's and the ancient Egyptians, like they had different perspectives on darkness, something more deeper, emotional, spiritual. So I'm having hard time to apply that on my theory. So if there's someone there, please help me out. Yeah. So they're really like important paragraphs and words to rephrase over here. So ancient Egyptians, like they were up to really good something. They were really like smart people to come up with something like this. Yeah, especially with the whole god killing people at night, and I mean entities. I don't know what is he killing. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, why is he being reborn? Like it's really confusing. But yeah, that's not the time for now. So yeah, I'm gonna continue for my other thing. These ancient thinkers viewed darkness as not only as a physical condition but also as a metaphor for ignorance, the unknown, and the fears that come from within. Many of them believe that by confronting the darkness, whether literally or metaphorically, we could overcome the fear, reach a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. The fear of darkness has roots both in our evolutionary history and insights of ancient thinkers. Evolutionarily, early humans were vulnerable to predators at night, and this instinctual fear of the unseen dangers in the dark became hardwired for survival. Psychologically, darkness limits sensory input, especially sight, leaving our minds to imagine threats in the unknown. Ancient philosophers like Plato used darkness as a metaphor for ignorance, where people fear the unknown truths they cannot perceive. Aristotle noted how, in the absence of sensory information, our minds create illusions, heightening fear. Stoic thinkers like Seneca believed this fear could be overcome through rational thought, while Lyso saw darkness as a natural, essential balance to light, not something to be feared. Ancient Egyptians also understood darkness as part of the cycle of life, where fear led to transformation and renewal. Combining these perspectives, the fear of darkness reflects both our primal instincts and deeper psychological anxieties about the unknown and unseen. Now, I don't really need to give out a whole explanation of about this because I already did. I already gave out a whole speech, and I already gave some of my thoughts between the facts. About like when I was talking about the facts. I kind of between those facts, I kind of gave out an explanation of about how I felt and how the fact made me feel and what the fact actually means. I actually gave those explanations, so I don't need to give out this whole big ass outro. I mean, but there's this one small personal thought that I would like to discuss. Now, in the first part, the psychological facts, the second, fourth, and the third are my favorite, especially the third, because the third is very common in nowadays society. When we were kids, the dark is really scary. It's because that concept is put into our minds by media and people, including our parents, friends, and the storybooks we read. The dark is always treated in a bad, scary manner. Now, that's my personal thought. I would like to know how you feel about the dark as well. Now, this is how I feel. Like in media, the storybooks we read, and everything where we go, the darkness is always stay out of zone. Get it? Like it's bad, stay away from it. Darkness. Like I'm talking about in storybooks. Like it's always some villain with dark power and blah blah blah. There are some cases like if you take a look at Naruto, like an example in Naruto, it's an anime. Like Naruto has this darkness within, but later on in life he used to accept it and be friends with it. Get it? But as long as it was dark and scary, people didn't really like him because it was within him. And if you take a look at Berserk, it's also an anime which I do not recommend you should watch as a first timer. In Berserk, Guts is the good guy, but he is portrayed as a monster. Like people fear him. He carries a big ass sword. He looks fucking. He's ready to kill you in any given moment. So people scare him. So people fear him, right? But in reality, he's not the one you should be scared of, because the real villain is a white-haired princess dude. So yeah, so that's berserk. So I'm just saying that in any case given, like in any places, the darkness is always feared for a reason, and I get it, and we all get it, but there's nothing to be really scared of. So when the light goes out next time, don't scream. Do not scream. I mean, I think I'm the only one who's doing it, but whatever. So you get the point what I'm saying. Like I said before, darkness is the absence of light, and light is the absence of darkness. So you shouldn't really be scared for both of them. So yeah. So this is the end of my video. I hope you really enjoyed my facts that I have gathered of the internet, ChatGPT, and other things, and I have just put it into this whole word thing. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and this is my first episode of this series, Owl's Eye, which I really enjoy making. But I do not enjoy editing. Editing is just no. So yeah. I really hope you enjoyed this series, my first video, my first episode. Hope you will subscribe and come see my second episode and my other videos which I make in this channel. Subscribe and bye.